guys, Dario speaking. I've finally recovered from the cold. I feel 10 times better, even though it's still nice and chilly down here. But today's video is going to be about replacing wheel studs on my Forester. Okay, so what's happened is that I've tried to take off the wheels just to have a general inspection of the car, to see my brakes and stuff, and now I've noticed there's some scoring in the brake disc. But the most concerning bit is that these have been cut or modified, and you don't want that on the day-to-day, because I will be driving this very soon as a day-to-day basis. But yeah, I'm just really concerning that these have been altered, because the other four wheels haven't been cut or anything like that. The studs haven't been cut, but for whatever reason, whether it was done in Japan or whether it was done here, I don't know. Yeah, just really threw me off, and yeah, I'd rather just replace them, because it's definitely a safety aspect. Definitely don't want to be running these kinds of studs, especially if they've been cut, because your studs hold your wheel on and your wheels are safety. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the tools that you need today are your rattle gun with your wheel socket on it, because to get your wheels off, if you can't use your breaker bar and wheel socket, your steel hammer, not steel hammer, but your heavy hammer to knock out the studs physically, rubber mallet to knock your brake disc loose off the hub if it's really stuck on, and whatever your brake caliper is held on by. In my case, it's a 19mm bolt. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I've taken my caliper off, I've hung it up. Please, when you do take off your caliper, please hang it up so you don't have strain on your brake line. In my case particular, this is a Brembo 4-piston caliper. These are particularly expensive, and I don't want to replace one of these anytime soon. So please hang up your calipers when you do take off calipers from your brake disc. Okay, so in my case, my disc is actually quite stuck on there, and it won't come off manually. So if you do have brake discs that need to come off and you don't care about them, always use a rubber mallet just to save them, because you can always swing as hard as you like without actually damaging the surface of the disc. So it's going to be hard to do one-handed, but I'll give it a go. If you've got to hit it all the way around the disc, so it can evenly pop off. Can be stubborn sometimes, but sometimes you just got to give it a good hit. If it doesn't work, then what I'll do is I'll throw a bolt in there and do it that way. I think it's coming on. Okay, so I've got a bit of wiggle now. It's not as much as I'd like. So maybe just keep on with the hammer. It's coming off slowly. Okay, so now that's not exactly what you want to see. See? Like that. So those studs were bound to come off. So as you can see, it was just a matter of time these studs were going to come out. Like, these are meant to be pressed in, and this came out loosely. So this is definitely not something to be mucking about with, for sure. Because yeah, these hold on your wheels, you know, connect to your brakes, and in this particular case, it's up the front, connect to your steering. All it takes is for one moment for you to not be considerate about it, and you can end up in a very serious accident like that. See, just absolutely horrible. That's not what you want. I know in the future I will be replacing the hubs anyway, but for today and for time being, just to keep the car rolling, I will be just changing the studs and putting the studs in for now. Just a little pro tip, make sure that your new wheel studs do fit your wheel nuts, otherwise just go back to the parts store that you got them from. But in my case, if the camera decides to focus, and if I can pull this off one-handed, in my case, let's do it this way. In my case, my wheel nuts do fit on this, and I can put these on. And yeah, we're smooth sailing ahead now. So you are meant to get these pressed in, but there is a bit of a way you can do it at home. Okay, so we've got my little thing set up. This is how I usually do it. Just have the thing poking through. As you can see, it's not seated in. Just get a washer from your local hardware store, whether it's Bunnings or Mitre 10 or whatever. Make sure you've got an open wheel nut like this that can go all the way through, and then just tighten it up like so. And as in my case, I've got the rattle gun, but I hear you at home saying, Darius, I don't have a rattle gun. No worries, just use your ratchet and close and set it in. But for me, since I've got the rattle gun, I'm going to use the rattle gun. And then I'm going to go at it slowly, hit it slowly, and it will slowly seat itself in. It is going in. It is going in. Need a little bit more. And yeah, that's how you seat it in. So, as for the wheel nut, just try not to use something that you care about, because this is off a spacer that came with the car, so I don't particularly care about it. And then I'm going to repeat the rest. I'm going to repeat it for the other 4 and go from there. But you have to make sure that it is seated properly. The stud is sitting flat against the hub. Otherwise, you'll run into the same issue where, as you saw, the studs literally fall out. Some people, you think they would be more safety conscious. Okay, so all 5 are on, all nice and seated and stuff. So now just throw on the brake disc and the brakes. The brakes I'll do in another video, because I do plan on upgrading the discs and the pads. But just to make a note, these each only cost like $10, man. So for the price of safety, they only cost $10 times 5, $50. It's a no-brainer, really. But here we are. And that is how you change the wheel studs on your car. So yeah, so I'm recording in my office because I forgot to record an outro in the garage. But yeah, until next time, guys. Peace. Oh God, I just finished up. The car looks nice and all, but there's a random cat trying to eat my food. Look. Don't touch my macas, man. Please, I'm starving. Hello, meow. Meow. Hello. Hello. No, that's my chicken. Don't go for my chicken, please. That's my chicken. No, that's my chicken. Don't touch my chicken. It's so friendly, but